Support for She Comes First is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free shipping worldwide with the code SCF20 at manscaped.com. So, if my math is correct, that's like 12 million balls. I've used porn star recommended trimmers in the past, but my Manscaped trimmer works extremely well for me. It's the best by far. Real talk. You see, I actually own the Performance Package 4.0. So when your box arrives, you will get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, a pair of Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of those goodies. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4K LED spotlight you need for a more precise shave. Their Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner will change your approach to your hygiene routine. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Just a quick reminder, get 20% off and free shipping with the code SCF20 at manscaped.com. Okay, one more time. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code SCF20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Good day, everybody, and what's up? Welcome to the podcast for Selfless Sex and She Comes First. I'm Dr. Nick. Today is November the 22nd, 2022, and I hope you all are having a damn good day out there. So, we are quickly approaching the holiday season, and it typically starts with Thanksgiving, which in the United States is just in a few days. So that means many people will be out there driving to their in-laws' house, to their parents' house, or to a cousin's house, uncle's house, for that large family meal, large family dinner, which is typically a lot of fun. But in many cases, many people will be staying over at that family member's house. And they may have brought their significant other with them, their husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever. And what I can already tell you without a doubt, sooner or later, someone's going to get horny. So the goal that you will have in front of you is you have to figure out a way how to have sex quietly and not let everyone in the house know what's going on. So there's your challenge. So in this podcast, I just want to give you guys just a few tips on how to have successful sex during this holiday season. And believe me, yes, it can be done. So let's talk about that today. So to get this podcast started, I just want to say that I forgot that I actually published one of these same podcasts on holiday sex way back in 2019. Damn, that was a long time ago, but it feels like it was last week. So think of this one in 2022 as a quick update. So let's get started. Number 1, you can try to establish your own personal space. And of course, that can be slightly difficult, especially if you are staying in their house or their apartment or wherever. So it's pretty much like their rules go. So for example, if they are old school, they may have that opinion where you are not allowed to sleep with your significant other because you're not married, or they can be really old school and just say, no, you guys are going to sleep in different rooms. What can you do? You really can't argue with them. The one thing you can do, if you already know that your in-laws or your parents are old school like this, maybe you can opt to stay at a bread and breakfast down the road or at an Airbnb. Yes, it may cost a little bit more money, But in the long run, you will have your own personal space, so having sex wherever isn't really an issue. So here's another idea for you. You may want to have extremely late night sex or very early morning sex. So let me explain. So after Thanksgiving, especially on that Thursday, people are going to be full, kind of bloated after that big meal. That tryptophan's going to be running through their system, and they may fall asleep. And when they fall asleep, they're going to stay asleep. So maybe after a few hours, maybe like after like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, everyone's going to be knocked out. So you may want to set your alarm just to wake up so you can have some fun time with you and your partner. Or you can set your alarm for maybe like 5 o'clock in the morning while most people are still asleep, and you can have sex then. Something else that can be slightly fun to do is just sneak around. So I'm saying, for example, you may have to all of a sudden go to the store and get some milk and eggs, whatever. So that both of you go to the store and you go ahead and fuck in the car, or you give a blowjob in the car, or like you go down on your partner in the car, or something like that. Or if you have an SUV, just lay down that back seat and just leave the engine on, especially if it's cold, so it's warm in there, and just go ahead and have a good time and screw your brains out. Some people even go to the movies. You can do like a whole bunch of fun stuff in the movies nowadays. But just, I wouldn't go see like Black Panther because that's going to be packed. But some little side movie, some B movie where it's like two people in there, fine, do whatever. Some people even suggest that you have sex outside someplace, at a park or whatever. And if that's your thing, have at it. But don't forget, it's getting kind of colder now. So you may have to dress in layers or something like that. But it's kind of tough to have sex when you're dressed in layers. But I don't care how old you are. If you need to get it in, you need to get it in. So if you have to sneak around, by all means, go ahead, sneak around, have some fun sex, and then just go back to the house. Period. Okay, so my next suggestion is that if you actually are able to stay in the room together, you may be able to have sex on the floor. Hear me out. If you already know that bed is old and it has that old rusty box spring in there that's going to squeak, that's pretty much out of the question. But you may be able to have sex on the floor. Just put down some blankets and some pillows and go at it. At the same time, you must find out if that floor is old and squeaky and wooden. Because if it's old and creaky, it's going to echo all around the house. So people will quickly figure out what's going on up in that bedroom. But at the same time, one more thing. If you are going to have sex on the floor, I would suggest doggy style. Put some pillows down under your knees so you can enter your partner from behind and have a good time. And it's less likely to squeak as well. You actually can have sex on the floor. Just be mindful of splinters and scabs on your knees. And background noise can actually do a lot of things, especially to cover up sex noises. So most people do suggest playing the radio or things like that, but once again, you have to be careful. Why? Because you can't play anything new or current, like anything off the new Taylor Swift record or whatever, because if there are young kids in the house and they like Taylor Swift or something like that, they're gonna be like, oh, that's Taylor Swift, I'm gonna go upstairs. And then they bust in the room. And then at the same time, you can't play anything quote unquote oldies, because then like your parents or your uncle and them, they be like, oh shit, that's my jam back when I was in high school. They're gonna come busting in the room. And then there you are, like you and your partner are laying there ass out naked or doing whatever. So it's a good idea just to pick certain songs or certain whatever that people necessarily don't like. It'll keep them away so you guys can go ahead and have a good time. Just make sure you pick something that people just don't like. That's my suggestion. And also on certain YouTube channels, there's just white noise. That's static. That works well too. So in my opinion, that's even a better suggestion. Also, you may have to hide the evidence. Just hear me out. So let's say that you are having sex. You really can't leave the condoms on top of the trash bag, especially the used condoms on top of the trash bag. So you may have to roll them up in some paper towels or some toilet tissue and bury them in the bottom. Do not flush them down the toilet because that will clog up the toilet. So when the plumber comes and digs that stuff out, he's gonna see like this whole handful of condoms in there. That's not a good look. Also, you should try to wash the sheets before you go. Just on the off chance if your partner's a squirter or people are squirting stuff here and there, there's gonna be a whole lot of evidence on those sheets. So you may want to just grab them up really quick and try to throw them in the washing machine before you go. Also, you can't leave blue bottles laying around because people will see that and they will know what's going on. Also, to finish out this thought, it's a good idea to air out the room. Why? Because if you guys have been in there for a few days having some fun sex or whatever, it's going to smell like sex. So in other words, the room is going to be sex funky. So it is a very good idea to open up those windows and let it air out before you leave. My next suggestion should be common sense, but I'm going to say it anyhow. Please try to avoid any sort of rough sex. That's just a siren song to figure out and to let people know who is having sex in the house. That is a hell of a way to introduce yourself to your parents' neighbors, right? Right. So you may want to back off on all the hard thrusting, all the yelling, all the screaming, all of the loud orgasms, and things like that. Because that headboard will let everyone know what's going on in that house. Even people in the basement will be able to hear what's going on in that bedroom because of the headboard and the squeaks and everything else, and the floors rattling and people are up in there screaming and yelling and shit like that. No, rough sex is definitely a no-go, especially in your parents' house or in your in-laws' house. It'll be kind of funny, but still, just hold off on it. And if your partner is known to have loud orgasms, you may want to invest in a gag ball before you go. And finally, I wanted to save my best tip for last. In my opinion, the best place to have sex at your in-laws' house or at your parents' house is in the shower. Because if you're in the shower, the water is already running, which is kind of loud, which will drown out all sorts of noises. No one can really hear any sounds, like you really can't catch a rhythm or anything like that, especially if you're having sex standing up in the shower. So I just want to say this one more time. I highly recommend having sex in the shower. And with that said, it is a very good idea for you to grab some lube before you have sex in the shower, because the water has a tendency to rinse off any sort of natural lubrication that is there. So some Astroglide or anything else would work out really, really well, especially if it's water soluble, because it's an easy cleanup because you're already in the shower. And no one's going to run in there. Maybe a dog might, peep in the bathroom just to see what's going on, because that's what dogs do, and they have that sixth sense. Whatever. Just shut the door, or better yet, put something up against the door. This way, little children can't walk in there and be like, "Oh, hi, auntie, hi, uncle. What are you guys doing in the shower? Ew, that's nasty." So you may want to put something up against the door so animals cannot get in there, along with small children. So to close out this podcast, yes, people can have sex during the holiday season, even if their in-laws are close by. You have to be strategic about it, but it can be done and it can be a lot of fun. So this is one time I will highly recommend quickies as well, just to get it in, get that nut out, and get it out, and keep it moving. You can also go down on your girl. That's fun too, especially late at night. If she gets out of the shower, she's kind of clean or whatever. Or you can do it in the shower, and it's even more fun. just make sure that you have enough hot water, because it's no fun to have sex in the shower and then you run out of hot water. Why? Because there are 7 other people also taking showers. You know what I mean? Just think about it. So on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned, and I will talk to you